Good morning. Good morning, Dora. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, everyone else. Happy Friday. This is Memorial Day weekend, right? So the beginning of summer. It does not feel like the beginning of summer, does it? But I guess, it's not really the beginning of summer seasonally, right? But I guess just casually. But I'm not going to the beach today anyway, and you probably aren't either, so that's fine. We can hold off a little bit on the weather. So we're gonna give it a few minutes for people to arrive. I don't really have anything to tell you today, I don't think. So we'll just sit quietly. So if you're sitting comfortably and breathing, notice sensations in the body. Bring your awareness a little more inward. See where your breathing is. If you're not having some movement through the abdomen, the belly, or chest area, you want to see about that, right? Sometimes we're lifting the shoulders with our breath, right? So the lungs are trying to expand, but we can't. We're not letting them. So instead, we're kind of trying to lift our body away from the lungs. So try to really relax. Maybe bring your hands down onto the belly so you can feel it. May not be a big lift, right? Maybe it's not a really deep breath right now. So then just keep breathing here. And we're going to start talking about the last yama, which is Aparri Graha, which is kind of a big word, but Graha means grasping. Apari means things. And as we learned before, the A in the front means the reverse of that. So we are grasping things not. So not being possessive, let's say. That doesn't mean that we don't like things, that we don't want to own things and have things. Our life on earth pretty much necessitates that. But it's all in our relationship to those things. If you feel very comfortable in your relationship with the things that you own and possess, your shopping habits, and all of that, then good. That's great. This maybe isn't something you need to work on. However, many of us have kind of a rocky relationship with that. We may buy too much, or hold on to too much. We may find it hard to let go of things because they have some sentimental attachment beyond their usefulness. Um, this is a form of, possessiveness, and we are in some way allowing objects to control us. Um, it's not an ideal situation. So um, that is something that many of us need to think about. Um, do we have enough? And actually, in this time, it's a really good question, right? Because we have some very basic impulses to maybe hoard, to maybe hold on to much more than we need, um, because um, there's a fear, right? There's a fear that there may not be enough, that we may have to do without, right? But so this sort of ties in nicely with some of our other yamas, where if we can have this sense of equanimity, working on that will help you with possessiveness. If you know that you can make do with pretty much anything, um, that urge to hoard is less. And again, getting to the root of, the hoarding itself, the holding on to things, maybe more about um, fear or loneliness or missing that person that gave you it. And when you've kind of figured out the root of that, a lot of times that feeling is gone, and you can set aside that object that is taking up a giant space in your house but really isn't useful. So, this idea of non possessiveness is good for us, but it's also good for other people. So, we can take those things that we have and don't need or don't want anymore and kind of bless someone else with them. Um, it's that idea of we're all one, right? And we've got this circular motion going on where we have something, we don't need it, we pass it on to someone else, they may keep it, then they may pass it on. And then someday you may need something else, and there you find it. So, what we say in yoga is the world is for us to enjoy, but not to own. So, if you see something lovely in the store, think about how you might just enjoy seeing it. Do you have to own it? Do you have to find a place for it in your house, a shelf? Do you have to clean it? Do you have to worry about taking care of it? All of these things come with ownership of something. Um, it's something to think about, right? Um, Ideally, I mean, many people who are very serious about yoga also kind of get serious about minimalism, because it just kind of flows naturally into that. And you may find also, I notice a lot of people as they get older are less interested in things, right? They've owned a lot of things. What they realize there's no real um, charm to it after a while, right? You only need so much. Um, and there is a real um, beauty in being able to give that to others. My dad was a huge hoarder, had a lot of stuff all the time. And he made some real good steps at getting rid of some of that when he moved down here with us. Um, but he carried a lot with him. But he also felt that he wanted to make sure those things went to someone who could use them, which is, a double edged sword, right? Because you can end up feeling, right, that you own all these things and you kind of gatekeep them. You're not going to give them to someone who doesn't deserve them, which is kind of a, it's not a great way to think, but um, it's a good sentiment knowing that the things that you have can help other people. And in some ways, by you holding on to them, you're denying them their purpose. And you're denying other people the ability to use that resource. So it's a big, it's kind of a big topic, um, something you may or may not struggle with. I think we all have some issues with it, um, even if not buying, but holding things. A lot of times things are given to you, you don't really know what to do with them. Um, it's a lot. I know in this day and age, a wonderful thing you can do is to take pictures of things, to hold on to them, and then just let them go. So you have a photograph of that beautiful thing, um, and a memory of it that you can refer to without actually having to hold on to every single item that everyone's ever given you in your entire life, which some people do. I don't recommend it. So, Aparri Graha. Um, we can do this in relationships too, right? So it's not, we do tend to think of it as things, but it's an attitude we can have with the people around us, with situations, right? We are afraid for the next thing. We grasp. Right? Loosen your grasp. Let things move. Um, you find when you are deep in that grasping place that things get stagnant and stuck. Your life isn't happening. Things aren't really happening. You are your own worst enemy, right? You're blocking the door. You're blocking the passage of experiences and opportunities that will come your way. You've taken a stand, like, okay, we're here. Nothing's going to happen. It doesn't mean things won't happen to you. It will, but instead of participating in that, you will just be um, kind of cascade. It will just cascade on top of you, and you'll be you'll be blindsided by everything. You won't have any idea what's happening because you stopped listening. Um, so get uh, get in that ability to loosen your grasp on things, on people, on situations. Um, it's like getting in. If you're going rafting, you're in your inner tube trying to float down the river, but you decide, I don't want to. No, I don't want to do this. I'm going to get out. Well, how are you going to do that? You could try paddling in place. You could try jumping out. I mean, but you're going to work very hard and you're not going to get anywhere. So better to just go along with the current, um, because that's where we are. That's where we all are going. And um, see what happens along the way. Don't um, don't hold in one spot. You won't stay there. You'll just end up someplace you don't want to be. All right. So that is the last of the yamas. I think probably tomorrow we will maybe just touch on each of them briefly, and then we'll let that go for another year, talking about other things. All right. So we'll just start warming up a little. Let's move one side and then the other with the head. Just moving slowly. And then drop the chin down toward the chest. Back up, lift the chin, it drops back. Back to center. Let's lift the left arm. We're going to bring it so that the elbow is kind of near the top of the head. And then we're just kind of pulling that head gently over to the left side. Back up, switch sides. And then back up. Arms wide, breath in. Exhale, we'll have hands together. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers, lift the hands, gaze up. And then bring your arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Let's lift the shoulders. Roll back. And forward. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind you. Sit up tall, take a twist. Back to center, switch sides. And back to center. Let's walk the hands out a little bit. Back up and hands behind you. Fingers are pointing away from the body. Squeeze the shoulders together, gaze up. And back to your seat. Tabletop. Let's sit back on the heels. And we're going to bring the hands by your side and maybe rest the forehead on the mat. So you want to have the knees pretty well together for this. Moving back up. Tabletop. We'll do a few rounds of cat-cow. Loosening up. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then flip the toes, lift up, downward dog. Step the feet up to the hands. And we're here in a fold. A few breaths. Rising slowly. Standing tall, breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot steps back. Drop your knee, arms overhead. Hands to the mat, stepping back, downward dog. Inhale, moving to high plank. Let's hold for a breath. And then lower down. Inhale, head and chest lift. And lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. One more, lifting up. And lower. Moving back up, tabletop to downward dog. Take one more breath here. And then we're stepping right foot up. Arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting on the inhale. Back to mountain. Breath in. And out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back. Drop your knee. Arms overhead. Hands to the mat. Moving back. Downward dog. Inhale, high plank. And lower down. Inhale, head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift, head and chest. And lower. Once more, head and chest, or if you want to come all the way up, upward dog, ending up in downward dog. One more breath here. Then step the left foot up. Arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lift on your inhale. Back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, we're going to step back with the right. Set your knee down, arms overhead. Hands to center. Take a deep breath here, and then we're going to turn the shoulders. So you can hook the elbow. You could be more upright, just pressing your hand against the knee. Or we're trying to turn the shoulders. Coming back to center. Left hand down by the foot. Right arm lifts. Switch hands. So now I have the right hand down, maybe closer to the edge of the mat. Lifting up the left. And then both hands down to the mat. And we can walk the hands out a little. I'm stretching into this baby lizard here. You can stay on the hands. If you're feeling particularly flexible today, you might bring the forearms down. Up to you. You could try it or not. And then let's walk the hands back. So we're straightening out the left leg and then maybe folding over. And back up. And we're just going to swing this left leg around. Come on back to child's pose. Might have the knees wide for this one. If you don't normally do that, give it a try. And you can always stack the fists if that's comfortable for you. Rest the forehead on the hands. Moving back up, tabletop to downward dog. And then walk your feet up to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting on your inhale. We're back to mountain. Breath in and out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we're stepping right foot back. Drop the knee. Arms overhead. Hands to center. Take a breath here. And then, I think I did the wrong thing. I think I did, yeah. Okay, so switch. We're supposed to have the right knee out in front. There we go. So we got hands to center. This time, twisting. Moving right, hooking the elbow, being more upright. Whatever you got. And then back to center. We're going to bring right hand down by the foot. Lift the left. And then switch. Left hand is down, right arm lifts. Both hands to the mat. And kind of walk them out a little bit. Staying on the hands or coming down on the forearms. If you have that flexibility today. And the back foot, you can have it flat on the mat. You can have it on the toes. It really just depends how it feels for you. Then we're walking back. The hand, straightening right leg. Fold over. And then set the foot down. We're going to swing it around. Back into child's pose. Whatever version of this you like. Moving back up. Tabletop. Downward dog. And stepping the feet up. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting on the inhale. Breath in and out. So let's work on balance. We can start just lifting up the right knee. So you got the foot flexed, shoulders back, steady gaze. Set the foot down, we'll switch. Standing on the right, lifting up the left. Goes back down, bicycle legs. And then let's bring hands to the waist. We're just going to lift up the right leg. Foot is flexed, nice and strong. Foot comes down, switch. And set the foot down. Bicycle legs. And let's do it dancers. I just realized we have not done dancers the whole time we've been doing this. So, got your wall if you need to. Hands are up overhead. We're going to drop the right hand down, bend the right foot. So we're reaching back. I'm going to hold on to the wall here to show you something. So you want to be reaching with your thumb pointing toward the foot, and we're grabbing for the instep. Thumb should be back by the toes. If you have your hand twisted this way, the thumb's going to be pointing towards you. So this is not ideal. If all you're going to do is kind of grab a hold of your foot and this is all you can get, then don't worry about it. But if you're going to try to do some extension, I would highly recommend putting your hand in this position. It turns the shoulder. You can see the difference between the shoulder this way and the shoulder this way. Right? This is just a much secure way to do it. But again, like if you're just reaching back and grab a hold of the foot and you're just going to stay here, don't worry about that. Sometimes when, the quads, everything is really tight, just getting the foot is tricky enough. So maybe, you'll work on that. But the other thing too is you don't want to develop rough habits with this. So trying to get that instep is probably a good goal. So hands down, we've got the instep. Or whatever we got, right? If you're just reaching back, you can reach back towards the foot. If you can't grab it, that's okay. But if we've got a hold of it, we're going to be here, knees together, getting our balance, and then some extension. So we're pressing out, reaching forward. So that kind of tension between the two helps hold you in the pose. And you can always use the wall, right? A couple ways to do it. You could have your hand on the wall to get set up, right? And then you can experiment with lifting. You could be sideways to the wall, give yourself some stability that way. There's no wrong way to do this because we are working balance, but we're also working some flexibility, trying to hold onto the leg, work the quads, stretching. So there's a lot going on. Wherever you are with this is fine. So come on back down and let's switch. Now we've got the left side. Steady here, wherever you are, and then you might choose some extension. But, right, that's up to you. Sometimes just grabbing hold of the foot is a challenge. So whatever you want to do is good. And if you fall out, just try again. And then just release everything down. Let's cartwheel the arms around. And back to your mat. You're going to be up at the top, arms reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping back to downward dog. Inhale, forward to high plank. And then just lower all the way down. Head turns to the right. Well, the right. My right, your right, some right. Relax. Take a few breaths. And head back to center. Let's set up for Sphinx. So we got the hands out in front, elbows close to the body. Right underneath the shoulders, so you feel nice and propped up here. Hands pressing down. Feet maybe a little wider on the mat. And breathe. We're pulling the shoulders back as much as we can, right? So your shoulders, you might be kind of like here. And that's okay, but we're going to try to pull back. And then lower down. Head turns left. Arms by the side. And back to center. Coming up. Tabletop to child's pose. Tabletop to downward dog. And step the feet up. Coming down to a seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together. And you may bring the feet in close. It may work better for you to have the feet further out. That's fine. Whatever you want to do. Sit up tall and then take a fold. Back up, both legs out in front. Arms lift. Fold forward. Back up. Let's bend the knees. We're going to catch a hold of toes here. Yogi Toe Lock. So grabbing a hold of the big toe or maybe the whole foot if you want to. We're going to lean back a little, find your balance. And then extending. You might go kind of halfway or you could go
full extension if you want. Just again, finding that balance. And then set the feet down. I'm going to scoot up a little on the mat and lower down, rock back, whatever you want, just finding a place on the mat. Maybe we'll draw the knees in, rock a little side to side, make some big circles with the knees. One direction and then the other. And then set the feet down. We're going to walk the heels back close to the body. Bring that right ankle on top of the left knee. You may stay here. You may press that knee away from the body. Or you may bring the left leg in closer to the body. Just depends where you are. So when we're doing this, we try not to grab a hold of the shin. And that's because this puts a lot of pressure on the knee area, pushing down on this leg. So we're better off kind of drawing the thigh in a little closer with the hands behind. It's just, knees are, pretty complex structures, and we don't want to put any excess strain on them if we can avoid it. And then setting everything back down, we're going to switch. And whatever you did on the one side, we'll do on the other. And then both feet back to the mat. We're going to set up for bridge. Heels are close to the body. Knees about hip width apart. Hands by your side. Palms pressed down. And then we're going to start pressing down with the feet and hands, lifting up the hips. Breathe. Lowering down. Bring your soles together, knees apart. Maybe hands on the belly. Feel that rise and fall. And then knees back to center. Let's hug them into the chest. Rock a little side to side. And then arms out to a T or goalpost arms. We're going to start lowering both knees over to the right. Bringing them back to center, and then moving them to the left, gazing to the right. Back to center. Hug the knees in again, rock a little. Maybe we'll do happy baby here. So we're reaching for the instep or the ankles, whatever you can reach here. And then we're kind of drawing the knees down. Staying still here or moving, whatever your choice is. And then release it. Both legs extend. And then however you want to get there, we're going to lower down to the mat and find a comfortable place to rest in Shavasana. So whatever works for you, if you want to take another stretch or do an extra pose to get yourself settled, by all means, that's great. Just be comfortable, be at peace. Feel that strength of the earth supporting you. Notice the sounds in the room, sensations in the body. Hold that awareness lightly. If you find yourself distracted by anything, that you're focusing on, just move on to something else, a part of the body or sensation or sound. Or you can always come right back to the breath. Inhale and exhale. Focus on that series. Inhale and exhale. And sometimes I visualize the words inhale and exhale. Right? And that, for me, is very restful and very, it's a little bit something to focus on, but it's nothing that's going to take me anywhere else. It's just a very simple and small thing. So we spoke about Aparri Graha today, that non-possessiveness, trying to release our possessive nature.
Um, and you can see why this could be a problem for us. When we are trying to focus on everything is one, right? Namaste. I see the divine in you, you see the divine in me. If we are all one, how can we own something or allow something to own us, right? In that way. Um, there is no separation between me and you. Um, if you need something and I have it and I don't need it, why wouldn't I want you to have it? There is no value inherently in possessions. Um, to have a room stuffed with things that you will never use is wasteful. Um, it certainly isn't virtuous in any way. Um, but to have a house full of things that you love and that you care for and that you use, um, that's great. That is a wonderful thing. Um, but you are the element in that, right? It's not the things, it's your use of the things. It's your putting them into use that gives them value. And we can see, right, Aparigraha is our last one, but it ties into a lot of things. We can see how not following this could cause harm, right? Um, we can see how not following this um, could lead to other behaviors, right? Like stealing, or we get so focused on something that we want, but we can't have it, that we might be tempted to take it. Um, right? People get very wrapped up in those things. Um, and our culture is one that celebrates, right, the accumulation of things, the purchasing of things. We're encouraged to buy more and more. Um, it will take a little effort to break out of that mindset, to look at the things you own and the things you think of buying with a little critical eye. Right? Why do I want this? Is it because I can use this and it's going to make my life easier? Um, or is it just pretty and fancy and it caught my eye, but I'm going to have it for 5 minutes and toss it aside? Um, we've all done that. Right? I've done that numerous times with things. And I think we all need to learn that lesson as we go, but hopefully we do learn it. Um, I would not say, the idea that we have, sort of the picture we might have in our head of yogis as being people that don't, have a very simple life and, don't own a lot of things. And um, that's not really very true. Most people don't live like that. And you don't need to live like that. We just have to put things in their proper perspective so that um, we are, yeah, in control of our consumption, right? We aren't kind of being led around by our desires. Um, and in all forms, right? This is just another aspect of places where we may um, not be in control of our actions. And ultimately, that's the goal, right? In all ways, to be in control of what we're doing. So we're not kind of sleepwalking through life. We're not just making decisions. We have no idea why we've made that decision. We just did it because it seemed like a good idea, or our friend was doing it, or we saw it on TV, or I don't know. We want to find it within. And as long as we're going within, we are not going to be steered wrong. I realize that many of you may not have seen these, so I'm going to lift them up. Maybe you're laying down, but you can look it back on the tape and see it. But these are the bells. So then, when you feel ready, moving again, fingers and toes, hands and feet, stretching if you feel like it, and then back up to your seat. We'll bring our hands together. Deep breath in and out. Thank you for taking time today for yoga. I hope you have a lovely day. I think it's going to rain, but I think maybe later in the weekend it will be nice. Namaste. Thank you all for coming to class. Good morning, Dora. Yeah, so it's warm here. It's not that warm, thank goodness. But it was raining and it feels pretty humid. Everything feels kind of damp and sticky. It's been a very dry spring, not humid at all. And I'm not looking forward to the humid weather coming back, but I know it's coming. So what are you going to do? You're welcome, Dave. My husband is upstairs. He's not right above. He's off there doing yoga. Thank you for coming, Kathleen. So I'll be here tomorrow. We'll do a little recap of Ahimsa, or the whole yamas. And then next week, I guess we'll get started on niyamas. Niyamas they're a lot more straightforward and simple. We probably won't even do one a day. We may lump them up a little bit. I got to see. But yeah, so, work on those things. Think about them. I mean, you may not need to work on all of them. Maybe you do need to work on all of them, but take one at a time and make a few changes, make a few alterations. I think maybe I'll send an email out. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to figure out a way to put information. Maybe I'll figure it out. But I kind of want to put some links up for things that you guys can look at if you want to see. Because I've had some people ask for, links to more information on the yamas and things that we've been talking about. And I don't know if there's a file section here or something I can do, but I'll try to figure it out. I'll let you know if I do. I'm just an old lady struggling over here with the YouTube. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Oh, thanks. Thanks for coming, Rachel. Okay, so I'll be back tomorrow.